Hari Om. Jai Shri Radhe Krishna. Srimad Bhagavad Gita, chapter number 2, shloka number 16. Nāsato vidyate bhāvo, nābhāvo vidyate sataḥ, ubhayorapi dṛiṣhṭo stvanayos tattva-darśibhiḥ. Supreme Lord Shri Krishna says, the unreal has no existence, the real never ceases to exist. The truth about both of these have been experienced by seers of the essence. Here we encounter one of the most profound shlokas of the Gita with layers and layers of meaning. This shloka indicates that the mental tranquility can accrue only through right interpretation of life. Right interpretation of life involves knowing what is real and what is unreal. Gita's philosophy sometimes appears complex. We will be motivated to study any subject when we realize the purpose of our study. Here we try to understand three critical truths of life. First one, what is real? Second, what really matters? And third, how can we live in a way that matters? When we contemplate on the first point, what is real? The real is that which has no change and remains the same in all periods of time, past, present and future. Shri Krishna says, Atma alone is real. He called the embodied Atma as Dehi previously, and here he defines the real as Sat, which means Atma alone has existence. Those that keep appearing and disappearing, including our body, mind and intellect, do not have existence, so they are not real. They are only the manifested forms of Sat, and here Shri Krishna calls manifested form of Sat as bhava. A bhava is unreal and has no existence. So it is asat, the opposite of Sat. For example, imagine a few dishes made of clay as a pot, plate, mug, etc. By accident, if one of them, say a plate, falls from a height and breaks into many pieces, it can no more be called a plate. But if we collect the broken pieces, we still find the clay used to make the plate. So the clay still exists. Clay is equivalent to Sat in this example, and the different dishes are the various manifestations or bhavas of clay. Now coming to the second point, what really matters is if we get so caught in worldly things as to not notice that our life is slipping away without our achieving anything enduring, we too are really foolish. Gita states that spiritual growth alone lasts. This life is finite. The body changes every moment. Mind evolves and intellect grows with the passage of time. Each change in our body results in the constant death of its previous state. All the individual entities we perceive in the universe, such as human beings, the domestic and wild animals, the rocks, the mountains, plants, trees, etc., are the different bhavas manifested by the same Sat or Atma. This shloka of the Gita states that the matter is temporary and therefore unreal, whereas the spiritual or Atma is eternal and therefore real. Now, how can we live in a way that matters? The Bhagavad Gita's philosophy is meant to guide us for making wise life choices as it did for Arjuna. One should try to attain a state where one can go beyond name and form and can look at the essence or divinity. Nāsato vidyate bhāvo is specifically used to emphasize a spiritual truth. The literal meaning of anta means end, and in this shloka it means the summation or conclusion of the essential natures of Sat and Asat. The authoritative conclusion arrived by great sages in this matter is that the nature of the physical body is Asat, being temporary, and that the nature of the spiritual soul is Sat, being eternal. Embedding this exposition into the practical world, we notice that Arjuna is grieved by thinking that the warriors will die. So the Lord is explaining that the real never dies and the unreal never exists, as it is continuously dying or changing. Therefore, it is not wise to grieve. Hari Om. Jai Shri Radhe Krishna.